David Braun, man, this book you have, Successful Acquisitions. That is cool. I mean, everybody, at least me, I got an MBA, so I know about acquisitions, but everybody, particularly small businesses, thinks that, God, how could I someday sell my business to some fat cat because my kid doesn't want to take it over? So what would be a strategy for doing that?
That's a great question, and everybody's looking for those fat cats. By the way, that's always the challenge there.
They're not even there.
Yeah, that's right. I think one of the biggest opportunities for folks, first of all, is to even ask themselves that question. How do I get myself prepared? So part of it is, how do I think like a fat cat, right? How do I think like a big company that would want to come in and buy my business? I'll tell you, one of the simplest things to think about is, how do I make it easy? How do I make it easy?
Make what easy?
How do I make it easy for a company to come in and buy my company? Let me give you an analogy.
Okay.
Because it's one that most of your audience can relate to. When you are thinking about selling your house,
right?
What do all the realtors tell you? Paint, put in new carpet, get stuff fixed up, make it easy so that someone can come in. But if you've got holes in the wall and the carpet looks like got all chewed up and everything else, it's not easy for someone to come in and say how great this business could be. Companies are the same way. Make it easy for the buyer to see what kind of company you have. Now, what are some of this? Let's drill down on that. What does that mean? One thing is it means you have good financial information, right?
So get the books in order.
Get the books in order. Now, here's the best: if you could actually have an audited financial statements, that's the best, because then you make it very easy. So use my house analogy. That's like having your home inspection done before you put your house on the market.
Right? So you already have the inspection done.
You already have the inspection done. Make it
see.
Easy for them to get comfortable that, hey, you know what? I've got a new AC system. I've got new insulation put in. Same thing with house. An auditor, an audit makes it easier for a fat cat, because a fat cat is always worried about risk. So you take that out of the equation. So that's number one.
Oh, that's
and a lot of business owners make the mistake of the company being their piggy bank. And now you got to share that piggy, or sell that piggy bank to someone else. So they got to unwind
all that extra cash they were putting in their pocket. They got to show it.
They got to figure out a way to. That's right. Especially if they want to get paid for it, they better start showing it.
This is a cash cow, so show them.
Show and get the milk going. That's right. So that's number one. Number two is think about the people part of it.
What do you mean?
So if you are so instrumental in the success of that company, you add risk to it, because that means that's like going to the car dealership, buying a car from the salesman, but that salesman has to drive the car because they're the only one that knows how to drive it, right? Same thing with companies. So making sure that you've got other people there that can take over, so that when you leave, whether through natural causes or otherwise, through the acquisition, that there's the sense that somebody else is going to be there to actually run that business.
Well, if that wasn't thought through, I mean, you hanging around for a few years would solve some of that, or not?
Yes. Yeah, but here's the problem. Most buyers also know that they can't make you stay.
I see.
Right? But your willingness to do that absolutely helps.
I see.
But you better do that before you're 90, right? So
it wouldn't work for me.
You better have that ready. So and what we see today is that all the studies are showing that the average age of small businesses is continuing to go up. I just heard a statistic this week that said
the average age of the owners, or what?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the statistic that I heard this week was that 60% of companies will be sold in the next 10 years.
60%? That's a lot. I mean, we got like 20, 30 million companies or something like that, isn't it?
It's a lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot,
and so 60%. No wonder you're in business, man.
You got a lot of.
You're in the growth business.
You got a lot of baby boomers that have been holding on to companies, and they haven't been able to sell for the past few years. That's where a lot of their wealth is, and they better start figuring out. And you know what? That makes it more challenging to be of interest, right? So you're going to have to vie for interest, because there's going to be more supply coming onto the market.
More options for buyers.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, more houses on the market.
More houses on the market. So my third of my top three there, the third one I would say is if you've got liabilities, like if you've got some warts and things like that, either fix them or be prepared to identify them.
You mean like, oh God, I mean, I owe $100,000 to somebody and that kind of stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, so common one is maybe you've got employees that you're paying like 1099 and they really should be employees and you're paying subcontractors. Or maybe it's that you really didn't pay the taxes that you should have, or you didn't have the proper licenses or things like that. Because you know what?
Get that out.
If a fat cat, to use your words, comes in and finds that stuff, and they will, their level of interest is going to go away fast.
So if you at least mention these things you're doing wrong first, so they know up front, even if you don't you don't fix them yet, they know.
I would much rather me tell them bad news than them find it.
Right.
Because they will find it. They will find it.
That's their job. They're not going to give you more money. They're not fat cats for nothing.
That's right. And they pay people like you to go in and find those problems.
Right. Well, David, that's wonderful help. So any small business could be up for sale for some fat cat and a way to finally get the money out of your business when your kids don't want to take it over. Right?
Don't want to or aren't qualified to.
Right, exactly. and you're at successfulacquisitions.net, successfulacquisitions.net. Not going to spell all that out, but we'll put it on the screen there. And it's David Braun, and you have a consulting business that does this, so you're an expert in this field, and thank you for sharing all this. It's very helpful for people to know more about their options in life, and we do have them, and you're creating them for people. Thank you, David.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.